That's how I'm starting out. Hi everyone, it's me, Darlene. I am in the thrift store parking lot. I forced myself to come just because I'm having a rough time. I have been for a little bit, and I'll get into that in a minute. But I couldn't see myself doing anything that I really need to be doing, like working on my fabric sales and stuff like that. So I thought, take a ride to the thrift store, just look quickly. I didn't feel at all like looking at clothing. So I went in the junky part, I call it the junk section or whatever, things that I don't need, but I want all those things. And I thought, I'll just go. And if the line isn't long, you know, if I find something, I'll stand in line. If the line is long, I'm just going to leave and do a video here anyway. Now, there was no sunshine a little bit ago, which I liked, but now the sun is out, so I can't really see my screen. But all right, so let's just get into it. I want to mention a couple of things. eBay. I relisted some more stuff on eBay. So I've got a lot of stuff in my eBay store right now. I never send you guys there. Well, I can't say never, I do, but not often enough. And I also put up an auction for scraps, 30 scrappy strips, the full width of the fabric. I actually had those, I don't know, maybe a month ago. The person who won them, they were an auction, never paid, and I just never got around to relisting it, but it's back up for grabs. And my auctions all start at 1 penny and free shipping for USA. If you're outside of the USA, check the shipping for your country because it can be shockingly outrageous. And then you'll win the auction and say, I'm not paying all that to get that here. So anyway, there's that. And my eBay link is always in the description of my videos and on my blog, darlenemisho.com. Can't get any easier than that unless you don't know how to spell my name. In that case, just look at my channel because it's Darlene Misho. And I spelled it correctly. The other thing I want to touch on is RC Man's real name. We were getting to that point. You know, at the beginning, I just like to give a nickname, and then we get to the real name. But I accidentally said it in one of my last videos, and 2 people caught it. And I was like, you know, it wasn't a big deal, but I didn't let the comments go through. And I think I did the second one and admitted yes, because I didn't hear it. Even in my editing, I didn't notice it. And RC did, but he didn't say anything. So when I told him, I said, you know, I accidentally said your name. He goes, yeah, I noticed that. So we're just going to go with his real name now. Any guesses? I'm just kidding. It's Tony. Anthony Queen. And I'm telling you because he does have a Facebook. I believe the group was his first thing, and his new thing is a page. And you can go and join those if you want, because he's also affiliated now with Amazon and some RC companies, and he can get coupons and discount codes and things like that. So he'll be promoting some stuff in case you have birthdays and whatever for kids or for Christmas, which is not far away. It's never far away, is it? And whatever else he posts in there. So it's Tony, and so I'll be calling him Tony, but I can refer to RC Man so people will know who Tony is now. Is there anything else I want to tell you about that? Just go subscribe to his channel if you haven't yet. I'll have the link in the description of this video, and I can throw them on the end screen of this video too. You know, when I'm editing, I have to write all these things down that I tell you I'm going to do, because I will never fucking remember to do any of that unless I write it down. So this next topic is probably going to lead into how I'm feeling right now. AA meetings. I'm still going alone. I have been ever since that first meeting that I went alone. I don't remember exactly when that was. I'd have to look back at my videos because I know I talked about it. And yeah, and some of you thought I had ulterior motives as to going to AA, and no, it wasn't anything other than the fact that I did find the meetings helpful for the most part. You know, I'm not into the way of thinking about the higher powers and things like that, and giving people the message that you won't be able to stop drinking unless you do all these things. Now, you can stop drinking any way you want to stop drinking, right? So I don't like it to discourage people from going or from staying. But for me, I found that a lot of the topics, it was my life. And I, realize now AA isn't just about drinking or quitting drinking, because I thought AA was for people who are just newly sober and needed help. I didn't know people go for years. And I was kind of like, I'm not going to be allowed here. I haven't drank in a long time. And they're going to be like, why are you coming here if you don't have a problem with drinking anymore? But no, it was very different than that. And so I did find comfort in the meetings, some not. But I have 2 groups that I go to now, and I like them, and I go alone, and I like them, but then it also brings stuff up. And the other thing is that I often speak. Sometimes I will pass if I really don't have anything about the topic of the night. But if I have something to say that I could share, I try to do it. And then, you know me, I suffer from anxiety in that way, and I can leave there devastated, like, why did I say this? And I know it's not that bad, and I know that other people will go on and on, they go off topic, and I say, everybody's accepting what they're saying, and it's okay if I fuck up and I just go off topic and I don't, sound like I know what I'm talking about. Because the others do that too, But anyway, I think it was Monday. Was it Monday? Monday night I went and I spoke, and I was cringing immediately. I was cringing while I was speaking, almost to the point where I just wanted to stop mid-sentence and say, I'm done. I wanted to get up and leave. And it bothered me all night. The next day, I cried the whole next day over that. And it's not just that, see, it's these other things. It's that it brings stuff up into my headspace, and I'm crying over all the things, the childhood and the past and what I've gone through since I've moved here and all these things. It's like I sometimes don't really stop to think how my life has become so different in the past 2.5 years. And it's okay to feel all like confused at once and say, all these things that I did and that I do, and it's just too much for me to process. And I tell myself now, it's okay. I don't have to process everything. It's okay to have days where I just cry, triggered by just saying too much at an AA meeting and letting everything else hit me, because in that moment, I'm vulnerable, and I let all the other stuff in that worries me or bothers me or scares me or excites me and makes me happy. It's just too much for me all at once. I just had to repeat that because a big spitball came out of my mouth, and I know you would have seen it, so I cut that out. So, AA brings things up that kind of force me to think about things, and I don't really think it's necessary at times to think about stuff. So sometimes it's like, maybe I shouldn't go. Why do I want to relive all this shit? I do want to work on things. I would love to not feel like I feel, because I feel absolutely in pain. It's like physical pain, and today too. So that was Tuesday that I cried all day, because it was a Monday night meeting. I went to a meeting again on Tuesday, went to a different group, ended up speaking again to try to, give myself a little bit of confidence, do it a little bit better, a way that I felt comfortable, and I did okay. And then Wednesday, I went back to the other meeting, and I spoke again, and I was like, why am I taking this chance? And then I'm like, why do I have to fucking read so much into everything that I just do? I do. It gives me headaches. It's exhausting. It's absolutely exhausting. On a good note, both Monday and Wednesday, I go right by Tony's place on the way home, and I got to see him for a little bit. I stopped over, and you know, and now it's Thursday, and I can barely function today. I have so many things that I'd like to do, and that I need to do, and that I want to do, and I just can't do it. The pain is so great today, and I know people don't understand that, and I just, you know, I don't know how to explain things, because I know people are trying so hard to be nice by saying things like, oh, ignore that, just get over it, give it time, it's going to pass. Things don't pass for me. I'm not exaggerating. I can cry at any moment about stuff that happened when I was 5 or 6 years old, or 10 or 11 years old. Memories hit me, and it's like they just happened now, except worse, because that might have gone through my mind, I don't know, a couple thousand times since then, and each time it hurts. So it gets to the point that it hurts so much to have that memory again, or that thought, that it really can destroy certainly your day, your week, your month. I have times where I just want to go back to just not going out anymore. So as much as you guys watched me suffer taking care of my mother all those years and doing nothing, in a way it was easier than this, because I don't understand this life that I have right now. It would be much easier just to stay in my apartment and just be a hermit again, but I don't want to do that, because I do have fun. I just don't know how to deal with it all, because there's life shit mixed in with the fun. It's just very, very hard for me. It's like I'm a 12-year-old girl just being thrown into an adult world, not even just adult, but elderly world, because I feel like, I don't know, when you're in your 60s, I feel like you're elderly. I don't really, but I say that because somebody once pointed out to me that I shouldn't be taking care of my elderly mother, because elderly people, and she goes, you are elderly, don't take care of elderly people. I said, that stuck with me. So, oh, but don't take it like that. It's just one person. I know, but you don't understand how my brain works. Okay, so here's some words for you. All right, let's get to the educational part. I've used a couple of these words before, I do believe. At least one. Dysregulation. It's D-Y-S, not D-I-S. Look it up. I'm going to let you look up these words. That's my biggest thing. It anything that triggers me can absolutely change who I am in that moment. And it can last all day. It can be done in a minute. Dysregulation. I'm absolutely better with dysregulation if I don't have someone in my life who dysregulates me. Now, is it a person's problem if they dysregulate me? No. But if they're dysregulating me and I try to explain, when you do this or you say this, and they use that now as a way to really get at me and continue to do it, I have an issue with that. So, dysregulation, and that can be caused just by any trigger, a visual trigger, you know. Limerence, that one really played a big part of my past. I can idolize somebody who is no good, at least for me, because, again, it's childhood, and all of these will say they have a lot to do with childhood trauma. I wasn't safe in my own home. I didn't get nourishing love from my mother. My mother didn't keep me safe, and my mother was, at times just, she would lash out in so many ways that were very scary to me, even very scary ways. I mean, it was hell for a child, because you don't know, you don't understand, why does my mother act like this when I don't see other people doing that? And so I could cling to people who were just maybe a little bit safer than her, but yet, really down on the scale of what I needed for help. I needed help. I needed family. In those days, family didn't step in. I think families still don't. I don't think families step in and say, look, you aren't fit to be a mother, lady. I didn't have protection from my family. for those things. So, and I'm not playing, oh, poor me, poor me. I'm realizing that that is a big part of who I am now. And yes, I can make changes, and I am trying very hard to work on that, which is why I do at least like to go to AA, but sometimes it just gets to be so much. It's just too much. My memory card ran out, so I had to delete some old footage. So I think I was saying that it's just sometimes way too much for me to process. And if I can teach anyone out there anything, and I do have the other word, I haven't told you yet, when somebody tells you they're hurting, don't try to imagine what kind of pain it is, because you just don't know. You don't know what kind of pain it is. It can be anything. It can be anything that triggers them, and it can be unimaginable pain in that moment. And I think if you say anything, what I would like people to say to me is, I know you're hurting, and it's okay to hurt. Hurt all you want. Hurt all you can. Feel it, live with it. If it takes you 3 days to get over it, find something comfortable you can do while you're in pain. Don't worry about the other shit that you have to do. Just be in your pain. And I'm here for you if you need anything while you're suffering. Because it's just emotions at that point. And it's not somebody just trying to be a pain in the ass. You know, people hurt. People really hurt, and it can be for anything, any reason, and it doesn't mean that that person who's in pain doesn't understand what's going on. The person who is suffering is not an idiot. At that point, nobody's advice is going to help. You know, you can just support somebody who's in mental anguish. And say, I'm just here. I don't understand your pain, and I probably never will, but I'm here. You tell me you're hurting to the point where you can't function right now, I believe you. You know, just validate somebody. Validation is good. So, the other word is rumination. And I do that a lot too. I ruminate. And again, it's basically the way it affects me is just can't stop thinking repeatedly over things that are painful. It's just weird. But those are my 3 things that I'm studying a lot now. I think I'm going to hang up now. Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do when I go home. I can go to an AA meeting tonight, and I think I will, because even though it might be painful, I usually do leave there feeling at least validated. Oh, that's the best thing I can say about AA is I do feel validated, because sometimes they hit right on a topic that is what's bothering me. They did that the other night. It was about social anxiety, and other people in the room said how when they speak up or they say things, or when they first got to AA, it was like so painful for them to talk, and then they regretted it after. And you know, I was like, okay, I can breathe for a minute, because others go through the same thing, right? All right, I'm gonna, Tony hasn't seen me like this in a video yet, but if he's watched any of my past ones, you guys who have been with me for a long time saw this shit constantly. And now I'm gonna go home, and I'm not gonna apologize for my feelings, how I feel, how I act. I'm never apologizing for swearing, alright? Because I get shit on that all the time. And I'm never apologizing for my hair, that people tell me my bangs are too thick and that it's uneven and I don't cut my hair the right way because I on purpose cut my bangs crooked, and that sometimes it's messy, and oh yeah, and then don't forget, I touch my face, my mouth too much. What was the other thing? Oh, I lean in. I'm fucking leaning in right now. Okay? So, again, when I'm stressed, it's hard for me to deal with those things that are meaningless to me. When I'm not stressed out like I am these past few days, I can take all that shit and it doesn't matter to me. It's kind of funny, you know? But things pile up and then everything seems to be monumental. I do find ways to keep myself happy. I gotta hang up now. Thank you guys so much. And please subscribe. And I'll be back with more soon. Bye.